Good morning, everyone. My name is Denise Rhymes, and I am honored and privileged to serve as an ex officio member of our Board of Trustees here at First UU. Thank you very much for being with us on this very special day. For those of you that are new, either here in the Great Hall or online, or if you're a long-term member, or if you're a member of another UU congregation just passing through, we welcome you. Our church has been gathering in Richmond since long before the the Civil War. We are in the former capital of you-know-where. We have welcomed the stranger, we have dared to ask bold questions, and we've tried so very hard to bend the arc of justice to this earth. In the times where we did not succeed, we have regrouped and tried again. We hope that you find here something that touches your mind and your heart. Wherever you may arrive in your faith journey, know that you are welcome here today. It's, as I said, a very special day. At 4 o'clock this afternoon, we will officially install the Reverend Sherman Z. Logan as our called minister. And we invite you back for that service. It's really something, an installation is something you don't want to miss. It's also special by virtue of the fact that we have a longtime former member and ministerial intern, the Reverend Walter Clark, here with us this morning. Walter, thank you for coming from Amish country to be with your people. And we thank you all again for coming. We encourage everybody to tune in on Sunday mornings about 5 to 10 minutes early, whether it's online or here in the Great Hall, to catch the announcements. It's a really good way to stay informed about what's going on in this vibrant, ever-changing church community. Again, it is with great joy that I welcome you all this morning.
Good morning, friends.
Good morning.
As Denise said, I'm going to speak softly because this is going to need to go. Jamie, the minister of the microphone, will come around so we can all hear you.
But I'm going to try to make it back this afternoon, but thank you all for allowing me to be with you.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. I will use my big voice too. My big. It's on. Real close. Hold it close. Hello, hello. Does it work? But To make a long story short, my name is Ramon Rivera. I'm here with my wife, Lillian. Stand up, honey. We were invited today, and so far, sincerely,
One.
thank you for the invitation. You have all been very, very welcome.
Good morning.
It is working now. Oh, you're not raising your hand for yourself? Oh. Oh, well, we'll get to everybody. You're up first.
Good morning. My name is Rob Targos, and this is my first time at First UU. I'm very excited to be here, and I'm just exploring different parts of the UU faith. So, thank you.
Thank you, Rob.
Good morning. My name is Susan Haltmeyer. I'm here from North Andover, Massachusetts. I belong to the North Parish UU Church there. And my son and his wife have been here for a year, and they now have 2 children, and so I'm in the process of moving here. And thank you all very much for welcoming me.
It's on. It should be on.
Hello, is it on? Hello, everybody. My name is Brandon Bailey. I'm here with my wife, Emily. We just moved back here from New Orleans, and I'm just happy to be here. This is my first time here.
Yay!
Get the steps, get the steps.
Good morning.
Good morning. I'm Kalani Kachela. I'm the minister of the First Unitarian Church of San Jose, California. I'm visiting with my wife, Tamara.
Welcome.
And we're friends with Walter and Sherman and other colleagues here today.
Good to have you.
Welcome.
Yay!
Hello, everybody. My name's Amanda. I'm here with my husband, Tyler. I was a member of a UU church out in Denver, but we moved out here this past March, and we wanted to start getting more involved, so we're excited to be here.
Everybody get all of those names. Because now I'm going to encourage you to take some time, greet your neighbor, engage in little loving conversations before our worship begins. Coming down this way. Sam! Good to see you!
Iris.
Hi, Iris.
He loves being in the service each weekend. She's always up here with us.
I am so glad to have you here, Iris. Good to meet you.
Thank you for that. Very good timing. May This Flame Light Our Way by Eric Walker Wickstrom. We know things need to change, yet we know we'd prefer not to. We know things must be different, yet it would be great that they also stay as they are, or at least remained uncomfortably familiar. Our Unitarian Universalist faith calls us to live into the discomfort that change demands, because it calls us not to believe in heaven and hell, but to make this world a heaven for all while alleviating a hell in which so many live. May this chalice flame we kindle here today light our way into this unknown and uncomfortable new world. May it give us warmth and comfort as we go. And please rise in body or in spirit to sing our opening hymn, when our heart is in a holy place. Nothing is Static by Manish K. Mishra Marzetti. The ground shifts, sometimes slowly, sometimes like an earthquake, reminding us that the solidity we often love and seek is an illusion. The crumbling dust of the desert plains, the moist fertile of farmlands, the eroding coastline of tidal shores, all are changing. Committees dissolve, committees are created. Leaders retire or step away. Ministers come and go, and bylaws are amended. New experiences lead to new truths, which foster evolution. The natural course of life always pushing us together, the greater understanding of what it means to be human. Everything about our existence points towards change, flexibility, and dynamic recreation. And it's hard because change involves loss. Can we hold these losses while not holding ourselves back? The ground shifts, sometimes slowly, and sometimes like an earthquake. Nothing is static.
Please join me now in the spirit of meditation and of prayer. If it is comfortable for you to put your feet on the floor, I encourage you to do so. Let your hands rest in your lap and simply breathe. Where is the tension that you brought with you today? Is it in your shoulders? Is it creeping in the back of your neck, your lower back? Did you notice your hands are clenched? Breathe into that space. Breathe into that tension and simply let it go. We are here today to worship. And we worship and celebrate change today. And change can make us uncomfortable. Change can be hard. And yet, there is beauty in it. And if you need a reminder of that beauty, nature will let you know. For the trees are going to start their spectacular routine of change. They are the guides that remind us that change can be beautiful. And they are the guides to remind us that there is elegance in letting go. It is always good to scrapbook a leaf, to hold on to it and to remember the vibrant color. And it is always good to watch the trees bud again. For friends, spring is always coming. Breathe deep. Can you smell the leaves? Can you smell the change? Let it rest in you. Find comfort in that moment. And know that beauty is always in us. May it be so.
Good morning, everyone. We're going to do the meditation on breathing. And I want you to start right here with me. Just breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. breathe out. Now you can keep doing that part, or you can choose a melody that's about to come. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out,
I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love.
There we go. Eh. Yeah.
and then we'll do music.
Minister here at First UU. Our organization for Share the Plate this month is Reestablish Richmond. When I was serving our UU church in Glen Allen, our UU community church, for several years, we became partners with Reestablish Richmond. And that meant that we got to participate in the wonderful work that they do supporting our refugees here in Richmond. So this organization works alongside the resettlement agencies when refugees are brought into Richmond, and they help provide some of the standalone services that refugees need when they're first here. So Reestablish Richmond provides things like ESL classes and tutoring, citizenship classes and tutoring, transportation to those classes, transportation to the doctors, classes in health and navigating the healthcare system in this country. All of those services that kind of fell through the gaps when our refugees come here, this organization really provides. I have watched so many families when they first came to Richmond and they were just lost. And this organization becomes their friend and their support. So I hope that you'll give generously to Reestablish Richmond. We will now take our morning offering. The ushers will come by with a basket for those of you who are here in the hall, and the screen will show you other ways for you to give. Thank you.
Hold, please.
Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us. Above us, only sky.
Imagine all the people living for today. Imagine there's no countries. It isn't hard to do. Nothing to kill or die for, and no religion too. Imagine all the people living life in peace. You may say I'm a dreamer,
But I'm not the only one.
I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will be as one. Imagine no possessions. I wonder if you can. No need for greed or hunger. A brotherhood of man and woman.
And everybody, imagine all the people sharing all the world.
You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one.
I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will be as one.
I don't know how much of you have worked with sound. It is not easy work. So, and when it goes right, nobody thanks him, and when it goes wrong, we all notice. So can we give him a round of applause for what he's doing? It is not easy work. I can tell. There we go. All right. It is weird to be back. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's also really good to be back, right? Really, really good to be back. For those of you who do not know what I'm referring to, I used to be a member of this congregation. So all of you who are visiting here for the first time, I used to be just like you, and you could wind up here one day. My wife and I, Wendy says hi, by the way, we signed the book in 2009. And in my time here, I was a member, I was a greeter, love our greeters. I taught RE, the high school students. Remember Natalie was in my class. I was a, what do they call that? A youth sponsor at GA, wrangling teenagers, which let me know I really wanted to do this work because they are some of the most insightful people you will ever meet in our denomination, hands down. I was a worship associate, and then eventually a ministerial intern. I spent a lot of time here. A lot of time here, so much so that it became my second home for a long time. In 2016, I began to do ministry outside of Richmond. So I wasn't around First UU that much anymore after 2016. Sure, I came back a few times to guest preach in 2017 and 18. I was thankfully, gratefully ordained here in July of 2020. And if I say 2020, you know it was a Zoom ordination. But my core memories of this place, of y'all, because I can say that back in Richmond, ends around 2016. And so while it is wonderful, beautiful to be back, it is so weird. Because it is both comfortably familiar and foreign at the same time. You all are UU Richmond. And you're not my UU Richmond. See, I should do this. See, back in my day, the music director of UU Richmond was this wonderful woman named Diane Woodruff. Anybody remember Diane? She set the bar for me as an intern of how to work with a music director, because when she would come to me, she's like, so what's your message and how can I help you get your message across? I was like, oh wow, this is wonderful. And she was fantastic. In my day, the DRE was a woman named Rhonda Hodder. Anyone remember Rhonda? She had the amazing ability to get first graders to meditate in the morning. I don't know how she did it. The administrator, back in my day, was a woman named Desiree Woodson. Yes, loved Desiree. She always came in with a smile. She always had a good word, and she would tell you what you needed to hear, whether or not you wanted to hear it. She had her own ministry behind that desk. Sue Cinnamon was employed here as a part-time minister, and I remember when she first started, we had just gotten that office quad space, and we had to fight to find her a space to put her desk back in there. Back in my day, right inside that door, sat the Reverend David Hicks McPherson, our Reverend Emeritus. And he shook every hand, and he would talk to you forever if you would let him. And I would let him. I would let him. And back in my day, Reverend Jean Pupke was the senior minister. She was my teaching pastor. She was my mentor. And back in my day, Sherman Logan was a bookkeeper.
Then he was an aspirant to the UU ministry. Then he was the assistant minister, then co-minister. And while I was doing my internship, he was my pastor. It has only been a little over 6 years since I stopped living here virtually, and not virtually online, but virtually as in like virtually. And this building has changed a lot. And I love being back. I'm so exhausted from the hour between the two services saying hello and hugging each and every one of you. I loved each and every second of it, and it is so weird. How many of you have ever revisited the old stomping grounds after being away for a while, whatever they may be, right? Maybe you left your hometown, and when you came back, you noticed that the old corner store where you used to get baseball cards is now a Starbucks. And your old skateboard shop got torn down and is now a Starbucks. And the old shopping mall where you used to go is just one Greek Starbucks. Maybe you've gone back to your old school, elementary school or high school, and you've walked the halls and like, weren't things bigger before? No, you were smaller. Maybe you've gone to your childhood home after your parents remodeled your room into your home office, and you walk in there like, well, that's weird. That feeling of being both in a place that is familiar and so foreign at the same time. It is really unsettling. Intellectually, you know that's going to happen. Intellectually, you know things are going to be different. Time marches on. You expect that things can't last forever. And yet, there is a sense of loss and displacement when you walk into your old room and all of the posters have been taken down and your bed has been replaced with an IKEA desk and a seldom-used treadmill. It is true what Thomas Wolfe said. You can't go home again. Congregations, they're our spiritual home. And like our homes, we think of congregations as static entities. Do you know, I read somewhere, and I wish I could remember where I read it, that when people join a congregation, that's how they think the congregation is going forward. I am in a congregation that is 50 years old in Worcester, Ohio, and I have people who still think we only have 25 members and we're a fellowship in how they act. They think that things stay the same in that congregational home. It doesn't seem to be a changing entity to us, and it makes sense in our hearts. Because we often come to a spiritual community looking for some sense of stability. Whether that stability is just getting into a regular routine of waking up on a Sunday morning with purpose. Whether that sense of stability is having a community of familiar faces you get to see once a week and enjoy a cup of coffee with. Maybe that sense of stability is having a sense of spiritual grounding in your life. We come to this place for stability, and change is the opposite of stability. So when we think of the things that ground and center us, like that stability, we want it to be unchanging. We do not want our congregations to change. And there is one thing I learned here. A healthy congregation is always in the state of change. Every newcomer every visitor, every new member should change the congregation just by their presence. Right? If we are making folks feel welcome, we're allowing them not only to bring their identities, ideas, and talents, we are including them in all of the different aspects of congregational life. All of them. We allow them to change us. That has been our mission ever since our faith began. We are a living tradition. We are one that is always growing and changing in order to connect with the divine. We say that revelation is not sealed, which means we must always be ready to find it and allow it to change us. While it can be difficult to make those changes, we find that we are better for it. And now I'm going to pick on Jamie. Yeah, she deserves it. And I have to tell her this, I said this at the first service. My first meeting with Jamie, I cannot tell you what she said on a hot mic when I first met her. But it involved Tori Amos. I will go with that. Back in my day, Jamie was the accompanist who lived on nothing but caffeine. I don't think the caffeine part has changed, and I love you for it. But Jamie wasn't your music director. She's your music director now, right? Jamie started a house band? You got a house band going? What? You have a youth choir. Now, those old school folks, us 2016 and older folks, we liked Diane. Diane did a lot of really good stuff. This is not diminishing Diane's ministry, but Jamie brought in her ideas, her identities, and her talents into that position. And she changed y'all. She didn't do it alone. I'm sure she had help. Are you better for it? Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. I'm jealous, by the way. I'm completely jealous. House band, I would love it. This afternoon, you're celebrating another change. Another change in this congregation, another growth milestone. This afternoon, you will install the Right Reverend Sherman Z. Logan as your senior minister. And I'm willing to bet for most of you, this feels like a long time coming. Because, yeah, that's right, Reverend Sherman has done the work. He's been the de facto senior minister here since early 2022. He has been doing all of the things that a senior minister does since then. And it probably doesn't feel like a change at all. After all, back in my day, Sherman was still on staff. He's the longest tenured person on staff here. Right? It's got to feel like you are just continuing on the same path like you always have. That's right. In some ways, yes. In some ways, no. You can never go home again. You can never go backwards. Reverend Sherman is a familiar entity to UU Richmond, and while he has been an integral part of this community for the last 15 plus years, he has not been your senior minister for even a year yet. Think about when you called him, December, right? His role has changed greatly in this congregation. He is the spiritual leader of this community. He will be helping shape your vision and your mission, and the role that you called him to do is exactly that. And he is extremely capable of fulfilling that role. So while he may be a familiar presence of leadership in this congregation, he will be doing things differently than they have been done before. Right? And his presence is going to be both familiar and foreign at the same time. It's going to be like walking into your old bedroom again. It's not the way it used to be, but it's the way it needs to be now that things have changed. But some things haven't changed. Do you know what hasn't changed? The vision, the mission, the theology of our Unitarian Universalist faith. The reason we come together every Sunday, and by we, I mean all Unitarian Universalists across the world, not just y'all, I love y'all, but I'm talking about all y'all. The reason we come together for our shared Unitarian Universalist faith around this globe is because we believe we can be the global community. What has not changed is that we believe that all people are worthy to the connection of the divine, however they see it. What has not changed is we believe in the justice for those who have been oppressed. What has not changed is we believe in mercy for those who would be in covenant with us. What has not changed is our work in justice rights, whether it be racial justice, LGBTQIA plus justice, economic justice, climate change, immigration, or prison reform. That has not changed. This congregation values creating connections. That has not changed. Whether we create those connections during a choir rehearsal, doing our small group ministries, or God forbid, during auction night. That has not changed. What has not changed is how much we value the various spiritualities within our members. The theists, the humanists, the pagan, and all of the points in between. Ours is a faith where we value the personal growth of each other and the betterment for the world. Reverend Dave used to tell me, ours is a religion for the world, and he told me, you need to save it. And he's right. And that is one thing that this congregation will never change, is that faith, is that mission, is that vision. Sherman will take you there in a different way, and he will take you there. You are in for a change. This afternoon we celebrate it. And I want to leave you with one very quick parting thought. You've been doing this work of change in this congregation since 1832. This congregation is used to change. This congregation has changed with the faith. This congregation has grown to be stronger and to make this world a better place. And Reverend Sherman is going to take you to even better places. And I cannot wait. I am so happy for you. May it be so.
I pray you'll be our eyes and watch us where we go, and help us to be wise in times when we don't know. Let this be our prayer when we lose our way. Lead us to a place, guide us with your grace, to a place where we'll be safe.
La luce che tu dai,
I pray we'll find your light
la terra stesserà.
and hold it in our hearts.
Aricadoti che
Stars go out each night.
terna stella sei.
Oh,
Nella mia preghiera,
let this be our prayer.
quanta fede che
When shadows fill our day,
lead us to a place,
guide us with your grace. Give us faith so we'll be safe. Sognium un mondo senza più violenza, un mondo di giustizia, di speranza, un ogni mondo l'anno sol vicino, simbolo di pace, di fraternità.
la forza che ci dà.
We ask that life be kind and watch us from above. We hope each soul will find another soul to love. Let this be our prayer. Let this be our prayer.
Just like every child.
Just like every child need to find a place. Guide us with your grace. Give us faith so we'll be safe. Nella fede che hai stesso noi, sento che ci salverò.
All right. and Dave, there'd be times where we didn't have this little laser sword to light our chalice. And we would have one of those grill clickers that would never work. And what would happen is eventually at some point in time, someone would go for like 5 minutes. And we get the giggles. And Reverend Dave would shush. Don't forget that this chalice is a sacred symbol, he would remind us. That sometimes it does struggle to get that chalice lit. That this work is important. And we can snigger at the difficulties, but there have been so many who have gone before us who have struggled mightily to light this chalice. And I almost hate to put it out. But that's why you're here. You're here to hold that light. You're here to take the promise of this chalice, of this faith, out into the world. This is not meant just for us, my friends. You carry this light within you. You need to share it. You need to show the world what we could be. And I know you can. May it be so. Are you guys committed to the faith? Yes. Then let me hear you sing it. Please rise in body or spirit as we sing the Fire of Commitment, number 1028 in your teal hymnal. From the date of days remembered, burns a beacon bright and clear, guiding hands and hearts and spirits into faith set free from fear. When the fire of commitment sets our mind and soul ablaze, when our hunger and our passion seem to call us on our way, when we live with deep assurance of the faith that burns within, then our promise finds fulfillment and our future can begin. From the stories of our living rings a song both brave and free, calling pilgrims still to witness to the life of liberty. When the fire of commitment sets our mind and soul ablaze, when our hunger and our passion meet to call us on our way, when we live with deep assurance of the flame that burns within, then our promise finds fulfillment and our future can begin. From the dreams of youthful vision, breathes a brave prophetic voice, which demands a deeper justice built by our courageous choice. When the fire of commitment sets our mind and soul ablaze, and our hunger and our passion meet to call us on our way,